Thank you, Mr. Fabiano, for that exceptional introduction. You, along with all of the other teachers here at Newmarket Junior Senior High School, have provided us with a great foundation that we will continue to expand upon for as long as we are functional human beings. For this speech, the beatboxing and saxophone solo have both been cut in the interest of time. I'll leave those bits to next year's speakers, and I'll be back next year, so you best deliver. But for now, let us begin, class of 2011. Let us begin with the word bittersweet, and how much I don't like the word bittersweet. The other day, I saw the front page of the Exeter newsletter. It was about graduation, and the headline simply read, bittersweet. And I thought, graduation's hardly bittersweet in my opinion. If anything, it's just sweet, scratch the bitter. Graduation is a time to reflect on all of the awesome times you had with your extra awesome classmates. And then you get to move on, knowing that you had all those awesome times. And if you happen to not like your classmates, you're moving on. Sweet. But bitter? Nah. Bittersweet effectively means nothing. Bittersweet's kind of like saying, wizards are only kind of cool. Or Finding Nemo was an okay movie. So that's why I don't like the word bittersweet. In talking about graduation, I prefer to use another word, but I'll get to that later. For now, I'd like to travel back in time, because that cliche simply isn't used enough in graduation speeches. I have 3 short stories for you today, one from elementary school, one from middle school, and one from high school. Elementary school. There once was a judge. He was a bit of a jerk. This judge, who shall not be named, but may or may not be speaking to you right now, made sure all of the laws of Exchange City were carried out. Exchange City is a program that allowed for us reckless 5th grade kids to try and make a simulated city work. Throughout the course of the day, the judge kept ruling people guilty, just 'cause. He liked abusing his power, and he really liked banging the gavel. At one point in the day, this judge allowed his 5th grade classmates to walk on the grass in the middle of the city. Shortly after, he made an announcement saying that people couldn't walk on the grass. Nobody heard this announcement. As a result, people were fined, arrested, and it was all a bit of a fiasco. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I promise you I will not go into law. Middle school. There once was a recreational soccer team, unlike any other recreational soccer team that preceded it. The year was 2006. The team was NUFC, or the Newmarket United Football Club. The club sported such notable soccer superstars as Tony Chantre, Chris Jordan, Nick Montagani, and yours truly. One game in particular comes to mind. It was a breezy fall day, and the team was down by about 6 or 7 goals. Actually, that was every game. The team emerged from the season with a winless record, and we had about 6 players show up for the last game. But what we did have was a lot of heart. That's the end of that story. High school. There once was a young lad by the name of Ryan Carpenter. It was a spirit week at Newmarket High School, so there were 2 school-wide assemblies where the grades battled against each other to see who was the best. Ryan had volunteered to participate in the relay for our class. When the relay began, thunderous cheering erupted from the spectators in the stands. The loudest cheering was probably coming from Stephen Cooper. Before Ryan knew it, his turn had arrived. His task was to spin around a bat several times and then cross the gym, blindfolded. He spun around the bat like a true champion, and then proceeded to make his way towards the other side of the gym. Unfortunately, he quickly lost his sense of direction and headed straight for the crowd. The crowd accordingly started to scream in a desperate attempt to direct this poor soul away from running into the bleachers. But it was far too late. His Olympic swan dive into the front rows almost seemed as though it happened in slow motion. Despite this, Ryan got back up and finished his leg. So the moral of this story is to never give up on yourself. I could also talk about Kevin's mastery of the air guitar, or the time Tyle openly admitted to me that he cried while watching the movie Freedom Writers. But I'd be up here for some time. This, family and friends, is just a small fraction of all the memories that we have accumulated from the 13 years that we've been together as a class. Along the way, we have added members that have only helped contribute to those memories, to this big, as Gabby said, melting pot of a family. Melting pot's just about the only way I could possibly describe our class. In our grade alone, we have a person who aspires to be an air traffic controller, although he has a reputation for falling asleep in class. We have a proud owner of a legitimate Warhammer. We have a grown man, a full-grown man, who is obsessed with the new My Little Pony series. And we even have the one and only Willie Jensen. On top of that, we're governed by a vice principal who hates milk more than anything. And a principal who, for some reason, was nicknamed 8-Ball in high school? These characteristics, our quirks, are what made these memories happen. So as we move ahead in life to tackle the easy parts and the hard parts of adulthood, it's my hope that we will never lose sight of who we are, that we will maintain our unique identities, even if the system demands otherwise, that we will continue to build off of the foundation that we have provided each other with, that we will not reflect on this time that we've had together as bittersweet, but everlasting. Thank you, family, teachers, and friends, and thank you so much, class of 2011, for everything. Stay quirky.